So this is the F800gs, and this is 2009 F800. Took it in recently for some service and recall work. The front axle was not manufactured to BMW specifications, and there had been some failures, so they replaced the front axle. Another problem that I had with it was the fuel tank. Its capacity is about 16 liters. BMW doesn't list it in gallons. It has a capacity of about 16 liters, and with a reserve of 1.1 liters. And it reads how much fuel you have, but the fuel gauge was not working, and it would say that you had fuel but you didn't. And I ran it out of gas one day and had to Fred Flintstone about 1.5 miles to the gas station to get some fuel. So apparently they fixed that by replacing the fuel pump and fuel sensor, which tells the computer how much fuel you have left in the bike. A bunch of other minor recall work that they did. They added this overflow tube for the radiator, which hangs way the hell down there now. Never used to do that. It is a 800cc parallel twin, manufactured by BRP Rotax. They make a lot of motorcycles for the European market. They also make the engines that are in the Buell sport bikes, 4-cylinder Buell sport bike. Seems to have plenty of power. I'm a pretty big guy, and I can still get it up to way up to highway speed easily enough without any problem whatsoever. The difference between the 2009 and 2010 models is the color. There aren't any real changes in terms of the performance of the bike. The colors offered in 2009 were metallic silver and this bright kind of bumblebee yellow that I preferred over the metallic silver. This year it's an orange and white, and the white is a 30-year anniversary edition for the BMW GS series, and it has a sticker here that says 30 years of GS. No big deal, I don't care about that. Dual caliper Brembo brakes on the fronts. The tires that this thing comes stock with are Bridgestone Battle Wing street tires. So it's an enduro bike that they put street tires on because they assume that 90% of the time you're going to be riding on the street. They're decent enough tires for the street, but they're not fantastic for the dirt by any means, and they're not intended to be. And then you have a single caliper Brembo brake in the rear. Center stand, I got the center stand option, what they call the convenience package, which comes with the center stand. ABS, which you can turn on and off with the switch, so that if you are in the dirt, you don't want ABS to work because it will make it very difficult for you to maintain traction and brake. The computer, which will tell us the difference between, that's our average mile per gallon, 43. How much we're going at the moment, none, because the bike's not on. We can go more than 106 miles with what's left on the tank. Temperature reads the outside ambient temperature. Speedometer is easy enough to read. It goes up to 150. I've had this thing to about 100, 110 is the fastest I've had this bike. Nice wide handlebars. That's one thing that I really like about it. On the upright posture, you're sitting up pretty high. You can see that it's clearly a chain drive, and that the rear sprocket is a 1642. Upside down front fork with 9.1 inches of travel. It has some clickers down here that you can use to adjust the compression, I guess. I don't know if you can adjust rebound. And then the rear shock has a preload adjuster that you can turn if you put more weight or a passenger, or whether you're on or off road. And it has 8.5 inches of travel. BMW recommends premium unleaded gasoline, although you can take it to your dealership and they can change it so that if you happen to be going someplace where premium gasoline is unavailable, you can use a mid-grade gasoline. They basically just reprogram the chip on the bike. Mine came with the European style shift and turn signals, which are clear lenses with a colored bulb front and rear. People who are familiar with BMWs will be pretty familiar with the controls. You have the left turn signal, right turn signal, and then the switch to cancel your turn. This bike came with heated grips, which has a medium and high setting. Switch to control engine on, engine off. Basically an emergency cutoff switch. Has a power outlet for either a heated vest or GPS. Only comes with one. Underneath the bike, you can see that there's a lot of stuff that's exposed. And if you're going to do any serious off-roading with this bike, you definitely need to put some armor on it so that you don't whack the crap out of those exhaust headers. This is the oil filter. BMW puts this cheap plastic plate on here. Starter motor and a ton of other electronic crap. I'm sure that they need in order to pass European emission standards. Radiator. First time you dump this thing over on its side, it's going to tear that radiator apart and fuck up your exhaust headers. Here's the master cylinder for the front brakes and the little cylinder for the rear brakes. Nice strong metal brake and clutch levers. You can take these plastic or rubber things off of your foot pegs, these rubber covers, and turn them into a foot peg that's just like the foot peg on a dirt bike if you intend on doing any serious off-road work. Where you're supposed to add oil.